fish because that shape they can get like right up in there. It's like
Oh
not cool.
boy.
So you take your fin off and you're like whacking them.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So that's all bad enough, but as you're doing that, and you're in the pitch black Atlantic Ocean, 60 feet down, no scuba tank.
At night.
At night, with the sound of the ocean like lapping against the dome, and you're looking down, and there's endless black, just a black void, and you're thinking about every single scary ocean movie like Jaws, The Meg, whatever, The Abyss, all those scary movies, right? And you think about all this things that could be down there. You can't help but going through your head, so it's kind of freaky. And then you finish, and you put your mask back on. And I took a big breath, and I went down, and I opened my eyes in my mask in the darkness with my flashlight, and I saw, like right in front of me, this huge eyeball, like about the size, I don't know, of a saucer, like this big, staring, unblinking right at me, and I freaked out. I just tore off for the pool, for the moon pool and the habitat. I jumped in there. I surfaced. I'm screaming, and my crew come running, thinking I've been bit by a shark or something. And I'm like, giant fish, and
What was it?
It was a Goliath grouper,
Oh, I've seen those things before. They're enormous.
size of a cow. It's like
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of pounds, right?
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Scared the living hell out of me.
Yeah, those things could literally eat a person.
Yeah, it was big enough, that's for sure. And so it just decided it scared the heck out of me.
So where were you in the Atlantic?
Yeah.
How far away were you from like Florida? Like where were you at?
We were just off the coast of Key Largo.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like they live down there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an enormous fish, man.
Huge.
I've seen videos of people catching them off of boats, and it seems surreal. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a giant largemouth bass. That's what it's like. Like if you go bass fishing, they're so similar to bass, like in the way they look.
Yeah, now imagine
Jesus Christ, look at that thing.
imagine being eye to eye with that thing in the middle of the dark Atlantic with no scuba tank.
They're delicious too, I bet. Like I don't know if they taste as good as regular grouper.
I wasn't gonna. So you get a different. Yeah, I wasn't gonna find out.
Look at the mouth of that thing. Good Lord.
I'll tell you another quick story about down there. So I went out for a night dive once, and I spent the beautiful thing about saturation diving like this is you can do basically infinite time, bottom time. You're not limited to like 60 minutes. You can stay out there for 6 hours, whatever. So I was out doing this night dive, and I found this beautiful shrimp, and it was just spectacularly gorgeous. It was like translucent. You could see through it. You could see its organs move, like internal organs, like doing their thing. And I stared at it for at least like an hour. Just held my light on it and just sat there and stared at it. And it was really beautiful. And I come back inside the habitat, and I'm kind of hungry. And the best space food we got is shrimp cocktail. And I pulled that thing off the shelf, and I'm like, oh, that looks good. Then I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it, man.
You felt bad because you
Felt
just
bad.
saw the shrimp? Wow.
I ate it the next day.
The next day.
Yeah.
But for that day though, you really felt bad.
I felt bad.
Wow. Grouper, you would have felt bad? Like a nice grouper sandwich? You
It
ever have a
scared
nice
me, so
grouper
I think
sandwich in Florida?
I would have been okay with that after. Just because it was.
Yeah, I wonder if they've ever eaten people. Because it seems like they could, they swallow giant fish. It seems like if you're not a large person, they might be able to just suck you right in there. You know?
See, now, if this happens to me again, I'm going to be even more freaked out.
I feel like I've read that grouper have bitten people before.
Yeah.
Like, probably trying them out. Like, if they get hungry, like, if you're that big, you probably have to eat so much.
Yeah, just nonstop, buffet for those guys. And, yeah.
So, when you're down there and you're doing all the swimming, you're using a rebreather?
No,
You're using tanks, regular
tanks.
scuba tanks? And what is the capacity of these tanks? Like, how long can you stay down just swimming around for?
We have two, and we can isolate them in case one of them springs a leak. But you don't have that much more time than a standard scuba tank. But we have is refill stations all around the floor with high pressure hoses. So we have these quick disconnects on our system that you can plug in and fill it right back up, and then you're good to go for another couple hours.
So when you swim to go take a poo, you have to do that? You have to wear the tank, or do you just hold your breath?
Just hold your breath. You're not going that far.
How far are you going?
Like 15 feet or so.
In total pitch black.
Yeah. There is a light on the gazebo, but that's all.
So you see that light out there, and you know if you get to there, that's where you're pooing.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to be so strange.
Yeah.
What was it like to get back from that? I would probably feel... It seems like it would be real similar to getting back from space.
Yeah, it is. The thing about it, what makes it such a great training exercise psychologically, is if you had to get to a hospital, it takes about the same time from that habitat as it would from the space station. In both cases, it takes about a day. Like in the space station, you got to get in the Soyuz, you got to put your spacesuit on, you got to detach the Soyuz from the space station, you got to separate from the space station, you got to do a deorbit burn, you got to land, the helicopter's got to come get you. By the time all that's done, it's like a day.
And the Soyuz is a Russian craft.
Yeah.
So we have to use Russian crafts to get back from the space station.
Right now, we have to use Russian craft to go and come back.
How weird is that?
It's not cool.
What happened?
All right, so it's not good. None of us are happy about this. But what happened was the shuttles. The shuttle. Let me just say this is a magnificent flying machine. I mean, what's really remarkable, if you go down to like the California Science Center and you look at Endeavour, we designed that thing in the 70s. Like, it doesn't even have a microwave. All right, it's got a conventional convection oven.
Wow.
So it's like ancient technology. The flight computers on that thing. Your Apple Watch could run circles around them. I mean, it's like nothing. They're so primitive, but it took off like a rocket. It landed like an airplane. You could carry people. You could carry the Hubble Space Telescope in a trunk. You could do a spacewalk from it. It has a robot arm that you see there. Yeah, there's Endeavour. So that's my flight actually. That's STS-123. In the middle, that's the robot that we put together.
Wow.
But anyway, it's an incredible machine, and we'll never design anything like it, maybe ever again. Certainly not anytime soon. So, despite its technological incredibleness, for lack of a better word, it had a couple key limitations. One was it's not that safe. So we lost two of them, Challenger and Columbia, and we could talk about that. I knew the guys at Columbia, and that was really really rough. And then the second thing was it's super expensive because it took so much maintenance, even though it was reusable, or most of it was. It took so much maintenance, it took a standing army to keep it running. We're spending, I think, $3 or $4 billion a year on the program. And there's no way, if we wanted to build something that would be more cost effective or safer, there's no way we're going to get a plus up from Congress of like an additional $4 billion a year to go do that. The only way really to make it happen was to stop flying the shuttle. So we took a very painful decision, and we said, okay, we're going to retire these things so we can make something new. And we know that there's going to be a gap period where we're not going to have anything, and it's going to suck. But the good news is and the great timing about this conversation right now, is that gap ends this year.
Really?
Yeah. 2020 is when that painful period is put to rest.
And what happens?
We're going to have a SpaceX Dragon.
SpaceX Dragon?
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we're going to have a brand new ship. And not only the Dragon, we're going to have the Boeing Starliner. And then we have two other private companies that are going to be launching people this year. It's incredible, these four companies all trying to put humans into space with private companies.
Yeah.
And the schedules are just aligning, so it's all looks like it all will happen in 2020.
Now, they've done some civilian trips up into space, right?
They have, and that's all happened by paying the Russians.
That's what it is?
For rides, yeah.
Why is their equipment so much better?
It's not. It's the only game in town. Once we retired the shuttles, there was nothing else available.
But I would be like, hey, how well are you guys maintaining these things?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, tell me what's your maintenance schedule?
It's been a little scary lately because they've had some mishaps, right?
Like what?
Well, we had a launch go squirrely where the rocket didn't work right, and they had to punch off. Nick Hague was the American on that. Unfortunately, he was fine. He
punch
walked
off
away.
Meaning eject.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Not something you want to like do for fun.
So during launch,
Yeah.
so you're launching, and they're like, "This is not good."
Yeah, it has these side boosters, and one of them got stuck, didn't come off right, and they were starting to spin out of control, and then they punched out.
Oh my god! How far up are they when they punch out?
It's a
So
good
we
call.
say punch out or punch up?
Punch out.
Punch out.
Abort. You say abort.
Okay.
But I don't. In that case, I don't know the exact altitude. They were fairly high. They were probably. I think they were still in the atmosphere. So I'm guessing something like 40 to 70 kilometers up or so.
And so they punch out and abort, and then are you in like a capsule? Like what are you in?
In a capsule, and then from that point on, it's kind of like a normal landing. If you survive the giant, yank, I think they were pulling something like 5 or 6 Gs. I think when they separate, or maybe even more, that system when they pulled off, and then at that point you're falling in the capsule, and then the parachutes come out, and from that point on, it's kind of like a normal landing.
Oh, the G's got to be crazy, right? I did a flight with the Blue Angels once.
Oh yeah,
And I think we went 7.5 G's or something like that. It wasn't that bad, but it's so weird.
Yeah.
When you see the consciousness closing in like an elevator door, you see the blackness on the
you
sides.
get the soda straw thing going.
Ooh,
Yeah,
it's very weird. So that, like in space, like to get ejected, or I guess actually not in space, in the atmosphere. And do you have to climb into that thing before you can abort, or are you in
No.
it already?
There's no time. It's a rocket. And in that case, it's a rocket on the top that pulls the capsule away from the booster.
Oh wow!
Just like we did with Apollo and Gemini. Mm-hmm. Now, on Dragon and also on Starliner, we've got much more advanced systems that are built into the capsule, and so they push instead of having a tower up on top that pulls you away. They have engines down here that push and fly away. And the nice thing about that is that the tower, you actually, if you don't need it, you have to throw it away. You have to jettison it. But that's kind of like needing to use your ejection seat every single time you go for a flight, because if you, for some reason, if it doesn't jettison, you're dead. You can't get the parachutes out with that thing stuck up on top. So that's like a failure mode that if you put the engines down here, you don't have to worry about that. Plus, you carry it with you the whole time, so you could use those powerful engines to really get quickly away from the booster, like the Falcon 9. If it's having a bad day, you can use
Meaning
those.
if it's blowing up?
Yeah, it's a bad day.
That's a seriously bad day. What does
Yeah.
that look like? Can you pull up the SpaceX? What's it? Dragon what?
The Crew Dragon.
Crew Dragon. Whoa.
There she is.
That looks like something from the future.
That's the test we just did. That's an artist drawing of it, but this is the final big test we had to do before we actually put people inside, and we did that successfully just a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
So what we did was we lit up those eject engines. There, that's an actual shot. Yeah.
That's